Good Friday morning, everybody. We say goodbye to Bertha and we resume back into our summer pattern, mostly hot, mostly dry. But today we still have some of that moisture. Can see some isolated showers, possibly up to 10 to 20% coverage. You can actually see it right now on the Tamco Live Doppler radar. Again, we have leftover moisture from Bertha, still have that onshore flow. So, the heat of the day, we can continue seeing some pop up little showers that are passing through. Maybe we see an isolated storm, but this really should be mostly just some quick moving showers that we're seeing. Now we zoom out. This is where the remnants of Bertha is. It is making its way pretty much towards Mexico, almost there right now, but we see some of the heaviest rain actually is already in parts of Mexico. But we wave goodbye to Bertha. We still have a little bit of moisture over here in our neck of the woods, so we could still see some isolated showers, maybe an isolated little lonely storm. But other than that, this weekend and even into early next week, we transition into our summer pattern. You can see where the track of Bertha kind of was. Kind of all over the place, made landfall in southeast Louisiana, dipped back down into the Gulf, and then made landfall again in Cameron Parish. But all of the rain stayed pretty much well offshore. Even though the track came right through our area, we just seen some mist, maybe some showers. Didn't really see much of anything from Bertha. Bertha, really, like we kind of talked about, the main headline was it was going to make it very hot and very humid. We did get some breezy conditions yesterday, so that was nice. But other than that, we talked about the heavy rain was going to be well offshore. And you can see it up to 13, some parts 5, 6, up to 9 inches of rain. But here in Texas, the only area that we did see get rain was yesterday. Actually seen a flash flood warning just west of Houston. They got 2 to 3 inches of rain. This particular one little spot, kind of cherry picked that, I guess you could say, got up to 4 inches. But again, the big story was it was hot all week long, especially because of that high pressure in Bertha. But all the heavy rain stayed well offshore. Now, parts of the the Florida coastline did get 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, but other than that, this mostly stayed well offshore. Pretty good forecast that we talked about all week long. Now, this is the type of temperatures we see this time of year in July as we slowly start getting closer to August. North of the I-10 corridor, middle to upper 70s. Along the I-10 corridor in the upper 70s to low 80s. Already getting close to the Holly Beach already at 85, so we are warming up quickly thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. And we're going to continue warming up today. Temperature is going to get into the low to mid 90s, and again, we have the chance for these passing showers. Maybe we get a lonely storm, but coverage should be around 10 to possibly up to 20% coverage. It shouldn't be enough to disrupt anything outdoors, but it is going to continue to be hot today through the weekend and as we get into next week as high pressure kind of starts taking over. You can see it. There's a high pressure right there. Bertha is gone. We don't really have any more moisture this weekend to really work with. So thanks to Switch Electric, we can see that the high pressure really is the main driver this weekend and as we even get to early next week. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of watch is it's kind of late or kind of far out, but high pressure will kind of move off towards a little bit closer to the Four Corners, but just off towards our northwest. There is a weakness over here, so we could see some flow kind of sneaking into the east as we get into Thursday afternoon, so possibly could see some showers, maybe some thunderstorms as we get into Thursday. Again, the flow could push into this region, bringing some showers and storms on Thursday. As of right now, the coverage looks low, and again, this is pretty far out, so not much putting trust into this. So if you look at the rainfall outlook sponsored by Switch Electric, you're looking at 10 to 20% coverage today and this weekend. I don't think we 100% go rain-free. We could still see a very isolated shower. It's just not enough to put in the forecast. We're going to be pretty much mostly hot, mostly dry through the weekend, at least until midweek next week. And as we get into Thursday again, we'll watch to see if that high pressure moves off just right to where we can see some flow coming out of the east. But other than that, we definitely are transitioning into more of a summer pattern, mostly hot, mostly dry. Today, again, we can see those 10 to possibly up to 20% coverage for some really passing showers. We might see them, maybe one lonely thunderstorm, but other than that, this looks to be just some passing showers, not enough to disrupt anything, but we'll continue to keep watching them. By this evening and tonight, everything dies down, but it will be warm, muggy, and sticky like we typically see this time of year. And then if we take a look at the high temperatures this afternoon, again, low to mid 90s. We're not seeing all those middle to upper 90s like we did see Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford showing us that temperatures into the coast is going to be into the upper 80s. And again, man, can y'all believe that Galveston and areas along the coast broke records back on Wednesday and Thursday? 100 degrees on the coast. That's just, to me, that's mind-blowing. But yeah, we're not going to see that today. Temperatures pretty much into the low to mid 90s. Heat index 100 to 106. Definitely take some breaks and stay hydrated. This is what we do this time of year. We get hot. And then overnight tonight, we'll continue to be warm into the middle to upper 70s. And then I-10 down towards the coast, pretty much into the middle 70s to upper 70s. And a lot of us staying into the low to mid 80s. So the air conditioner is definitely working overtime, but that's what it does this time of year. Definitely get with your AC companies or even get with Switch Electric going on with your air conditioning and electrical needs. You can see that we've just got 10 to 20% coverage today. We dry out this weekend. I'm not saying we go rain-free. We might see a passing shower still, but it's just not enough to put in the forecast. We're mostly dry this weekend into early next week, and then by the time we get into Thursday, we might see some rain move in from the east, but as of right now, that's pretty far away. Just one thing I want you to see, that we are slowly warming up as high pressure starts taking over the region. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. Very similar forecast to what we see here in southeast Texas. It is a slow warm up, and we pretty much are staying pretty dry. Pretty much. Good Lord. How many times can you say that? But as we get into Thursday, we might see some showers sneaking in from the east. But again, that's a week away. We'll continue to keep watching it. As of right now, summer pattern, we warm up. It is warm. And this is a wonderful time to go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. A lot of people downloaded it with Bertha. They told us that it was really neat to be able to track everything, get all the updates, let them know when these advisories changed, let them know whenever these heat warnings came in. It even was sending them updates when the rain was coming in and out. So please go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. Y'all have a wonderful Friday. I will see y'all again tomorrow morning on this Saturday morning show. But Lucas will update our 7-day forecast later this afternoon and have our evening update later this evening. So y'all have a good Friday. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by...
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.